Hello there and welcome to an episode of Planetary Annihilation with me, Dan. This is a 1v1 ranked cast of pro level players. When I say pro level, I mean star level, top of the rung. We've got Nicola MX versus Potasio, and I figured I've been doing a lot of sort of a middle silver and gold casts, or some silver and gold casts, and actually what I should focus on is the people that do it the best. So this will be a continuing series analysing and trying to understand the tactics of the pro level players. So we have Nicola. I'll get some pips up, picture in pictures. So we'll get his base here, Nicola MX, and we'll get Potassia's over this side. We can see. So we've got Nicola going bots, air, getting a scout out immediately. He's got two fabricators here, and I'm assuming a third, if not a fourth. So he's scouting around. Potassia's doing exactly the same. So we've got bots, air, vehicles. Power, and then we've got two bots, fabricators going out over here. He looks like Potassia has seen Nicola's scout and has taken that out, so that's interesting. Okay, so we've got four fabricators coming out from Nicola, and he is expanding rather rapidly onto those nodes of metal over there, and Potassia's doing basically exactly the same. He's just a little bit further behind. And then comes Nicola with a couple of fighters. Take out that fighter and can see that there's interestingly, the pro players don't tend to put anti-air in their unit mix. I'm guessing it's because they're more proficient at controlling air and fighters. So the air and fighters. Yeah, a bit of a scrap there. These are going up, these metal fabricators, and Nicola is ahead quite considerably, and he has doxes, and doxes only coming out, which is interesting. I tend to mix up my units somewhat, but they're both going doxes only with an anti-air in here for Potassia. So I find that quite fascinating. Nicola's really moving out. I'm gonna have to zoom out these pictures to make sure that you get a good view. He's really, and I can see they haven't put. Okay, so in the middle of this crater is going a forward bot factory, whilst he's expanding out this way quickly. I can see Potassia has a radar up, which will just give him air coverage, I guess. That doesn't really do very much from a location point of view, because you can't see anything but air. So maybe that's why he's put that there, because Nicola's air kept going over there. But he's got a bot factory over this side, which is a good idea because I never do that. Oh, what happened there? Let's go back. Did he just abandon that? Okay, was he taken out? Did a bomber come over? What happened there? I think he might have just moved. Yeah, he just moved on before it was finished. That was a bit of a mistake there. Let's jump forward a little bit again to where we were before. So we've got the bot factory going up, and he's going up here. Now Potassia has bombers coming out, and I'm guessing in search for any fabricators, and he's actually hover bombing quite successfully on that metal spot there. So Potassia, but there's a lone bomber over this side, and he's going to get these two fabricators that are doing. Potassia moved those just in time, but I feel. He brings his air over. He might get one. No, he's running. No chance. That was interesting. Potassia seems to have built up his air quite considerably. Has he got a second air factory? He's got two air factories, two bot factories. We've got sparks coming out of this one. And then the commander has just queued power. So we've got vehicles forward there and a bots forward there. This is an interesting placement. When I play this, I do like this level and map, planet, whatever you want to call it. But when I do play it, I tend to do this as like a are later in the game, but they went really early there and is getting a vehicle factory up. Can Potassia see this? Let's have a look. Oh, he can see some units, but he hasn't seen or scouted any of those factories, which is interesting. Because neither of them... Oh, there's a bit of a scout over here, but there's quite a lot going on. And they haven't scouted. Potassia hasn't seen what he's doing. So that's interesting. We've got some doctors coming in. He's realised and has pulled back his fabricator. We've got fabricators building. He's got an anti-air here. This is... Hopefully Nick sees this. And... Oh, he's got an anti-air, but he needs to take out those doctors because... they're being micromanaged and avoiding. That's a bit tricky, especially if he's got an anti-air going out first. He's flicked this to strikers, which are quick to build and will take out those doxes quite quickly. They're a bit more powerful than doxes. We've got some saviours over here, bundle of units here not doing anything, and some fabricators not doing anything, and a random fabricator moving forwards to these metal spots. That's quite interesting. So into T2 for Potassia, and he has more metal put down than Nikola does. We've got a radar coming up. It's quite a good location because round the back is generally easier targets. It's not widely protected as much. But Nick is getting protection in a laser turret and has a gaggle of 2-1 units here. Now Potassia seems to be ahead slightly, although Nicola's metal has just jumped, and he's also getting T2 bots on this side for Nick. It's interesting actually looking at this. There's not many factories in their bases. Most of the factories are dotted around the map. And that's a good tactic because you can then produce units, especially on a level like this where you've got stuff all over the place. Oh, it's taking out the bombers. Can he keep any? Can Potassia keep any? No, he can't. So yeah, factories all over the place can be very beneficial, but he's hover bombing. He's taking out metal, and Nick really needs to deal with this before it causes a bit of a mess over there. I suspect he won't go much further if Nick can really get some units over here. Maybe that will be all taken out. The air of Potassia is quite impressive comparatively to Nicola's. Nicola, he has 2 air factories now, and Potassia has 4 air factories, and his T2 vehicles are almost done. There's an idle factory here, so hopefully he resolves that shortly. But we do have this air is causing a real issue for Nick. This is gonna wipe out a lot of, and that's, I guess he's put anti-air down. So if he can find the metal spots which aren't protected by anti-air, you've left one. Oi! Come back. He must have seen the air, and he'd left one there. So yeah, this air is a real issue for Nick. I think Nick, has he got any more factories going up? He's got no more air factories. He's only got 2 air factories versus 4, which is an interesting. Let's go to this one. So we've got army. The army values are very similar at this point. Obviously Nick has T2 bots coming out, but yeah, we've got some T2 tanks coming out for Potassia. So we're quite even really, but this air is but then he is, instead of building more air factories, it looks like Nick's just putting down anti-air everywhere, which is I guess a way of doing it. It's the sort of thing that I'd do, quite frankly. I put so many anti-airs down because I'm scared of air. I should really utilise it better. So he's put, that's interesting. Nick's putting an air here down as well because he's realised there's a bit of a hole in his base. If you can take out that power, that'd be an issue. And they're both in the red in power, although Nick's a lot ahead on metal quite considerably. It would be good to see Potassio. Oh, it's interesting because I haven't seen many. There's a lot of bots. Oh, we're getting a teleporter up here. Where is that teleporter going to try and be built on this side? Where is he waiting? I was like, a teleporter there. So is he sending them all back through? I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so we've got... Oh, Nick sent his units in this side, and we still have... Oh, they're going through. So are they just baiting? Are they? Oh, no, they're going somewhere else. Where are they going? Are they coming out this side? Which is interesting. So he's sort of done a... move your units around the entire map. And Nicola's actually moving away, but he is building walls in front of lasers, which is fantastic. And Potassio's units are disadvantaged here because Nicola's have got the higher ground. That big army's coming in here. Oh, and this will do some damage. Probably take out these and maybe these 4 metal if he splits them. So, oh, but then incoming Potassio's air. He does. Nick does have some anti-air in here though, but he's probably got enough bombers to make work of that. How many bombers has he got in there? 10 bombers. So, yeah, if he can take the air out, then he's laughing and he can just take these out. Spark's doing a good job against factories. Obviously tanks are a bit slow and behind. But can Nick take out his bombers? There are a couple out in the open, which he's managed to get. And he's just streaming in units to reinforce this unit count that disappeared. Now this is interesting. I don't know. I think if you're lower, I think a lot of your shots get hit quite easily. Hit into the top of the unit here. So these walls are a bit of an issue. He needs to walk around them, quite frankly. Oh, he's realised now and he's moving them forwards. Bringing in the big guns with the T2 tanks forwards here. It has Nick has taken out all of this unit generation over here. These fabricators really could be doing something. Maybe another radar there would be good because he has this load of tanks coming in and he might not have seen that. Now Nick, Potassio's base just seems to have air in. I'd be interested to know what their commanders are doing. So he's supporting a T2. I'm guessing he's getting T2 metal with those guys. They're just wandering around getting T2 metal. And Nick is doing... He's just putting another T2 factory... Oh no, he's boosting out T2 bot units. And he's getting up a T2 vehicles now. So I'm going to have a lot of units coming in. Bombers here. Come and get the fabricator, chaps. That was lucky. Yeah, he got that. But this air is... The bombers are... it's causing a bit of damage, really. Oh, he's got some bombers going down. These units... they've got snipers in there, so snipers can take out T2... air. Well, he has got anti-air. So where else is there action? Okay, on this sort of peninsula up here, there's so Nick's coming in and is pushing Potassia back, but Potassia has this teleporter which is being eaten slowly around the back, and that is a good move from Nick because this teleporter is being used quite successfully to move units around the map. But it looks like Potassia has seen this and will just deal with all these tanks. But this might go down. Potassia's got lots of... I guess this is cannon fodder, all of these doxers. They're just sort of... I mean, they will cause issues but when you got that many. But for cannon fodder, they're quite a good idea. Especially to protect your T2 tanks. You managed to save that teleporter. Got 2 T2 factories up, but one isn't doing anything. That would be good to see tanks coming out of that. We have some T2 units coming in here. This is going to absolutely knacker Potassio. Oh, my words have all gone wrong. Knacker Potassio's economy. And that might flip the favour into Nicola, although Nicola is definitely winning at this point. Oh, he's got a T2 artillery coming out. We've got a third T2 factory going up. His economy could support it, but his energy can't. So it'd be good to see. We've got two units building energy here. It would be good to see a T2 energy going up. But once again, Nicola is #1 star ranked. So I could look at this to learn from, not to criticise, really. But, well, Potassia has this unit gaggle here and one round here, but he is being pushed heavily from this side. Needs to get some units coming out from these factories to just cause those missile, I can't remember what they're called, Blue Hawks. They are very long range, and when in bulk can cause a lot of damage because they have a bit of splash radius. Ooh. Yeah, economy's gone down very quickly. They're not doing a great job against the Doxers though, interestingly. There's 1 unit per missile by the looks of things. Maybe splashdown is not a thing. We've got a Vanguard in this mix, so that should cause some damage. And this load of units ran away and pushed back. So Potassia, so speaking of Nicola being #1 star, I think Potassia's like 7 star ranked, so still a very, very impressive player. So we've got units coming out quite successfully. He's picked up his metal somewhat, but this is a good location for... How did he get that there? I must have missed that. I wandered one up maybe. Very good location for a portal. I don't know where those units are coming through from. Here. They're all going through there. He's going to rely on these few units to do that. This could be, and this is an interesting group of units, although because it's kind of spaghettied, it's a bit vulnerable. Especially against flame tanks and lasers. Wow, there's so much going on. I really don't know how star ranks keep on top of all of their management of all these groups of units. They must be flinging around the map. So Potassia's units from this teleporter have run out at this point. Didn't really do a whole lot of damage, just took out some metal really. But considering Nicola's metal is mostly T2, especially around his core base, he has almost 3 factories out. This factory's taking a long time. Maybe that's because of power. He's sorted it out. Got some Vanguards coming out now. And he's getting a load of units just building up here. Commander out in the open, which could be problematic if there is a lot of this, like if this load of units come towards this commander, he's a goner. I'm not quite sure where's an air factory going up here. That could easily go in his base, quite frankly, because air's not exactly located. You know, you don't have to wait for a huge amount of time for air to go around the map. But unless he gets this economy sorted, I mean, Nicola surely is on a runaway win at this point. He's got so much eco, and he's got units coming out of these. We've got what, 6 factories here, 7, 8 factories, pouring T1 out. Surely he's gonna get this back. But we do have some T2 tanks coming in. The T1's left behind, so these tanks are going to be kind of removed by these units here. Bit of a shame to see those left behind. I'm guessing he's dealing with all this this stuff going on around here. Commander is walking back now. He's made 2 air factories, which aren't building anything. Maybe he's not going to waste his metal. Maybe he thinks they're going down. So we've only got we've got 2 T2 factories there, but it looks like, have we got a factory count? So they're very even on factories, which is interesting. But Nicola's army is army value at least is much higher, and actually the unit count is much higher too. Air's no longer working very well because Nicola's put loads of T1 into this, and this is going to be an issue. We've got an artillery in there as well. So this T2 fabricator will go down, as will these T2 mechs. What else? So it looks like, yeah, I mean, look at all these units. We've got so many units. Nicola's really dominating this area of the map. And we can see here, Potasio is pretty much... I think this is mainly his unit count here. And the game looks like it's ending soon, so I can only guess what's going to happen. I mean, this is a lot of T2 in here as well. Oh, not a huge amount, actually. Only 3 T2 units. Oh, there's some hanging back here. This is probably why Nicola's metal is so high. He's got stitches going out. What was that? It just said blip. And something said blip on the screen. I've never seen blip before. Yeah, he's got these going out, just reclaiming all the metal, and even in Potasio's side of the map. But his metal is through the roof now, and we've got 4 T2 factories, that T2 air as well. So he's really pushing the boat out. I would love to see, there's a GG from Potasio. Let's just go back 15 seconds. Let's see what the root cause of that was. Did he just realise that he has no units on the map? Yeah, I think so. Well, that was interesting to see, and the strength of Nicola pushing forwards and establishing bases in all of these areas was interesting to see, especially this area up here. I kind of, when I play this map, I use this as an afterthought. This is interesting as well. He's streaming them round the back rather than going through. So yeah, let's just have a look at the... Oh, I can't look at the stats. I can't look at the stats. Yeah, well, I want to look at the graphs of the total income and stuff, but you can't do that in replays, unfortunately. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that look at the pro level play. I will create a series of this. So if you know of any really decent or fun, like strange pro level play, I'm more interested, quite frankly. The ones where you know, they might build a couple of Titans and loads of nukes and all that kind of thing, or smash a planet, which very, very rarely happens at star rank. But yeah, I'd like to see that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you all later. Bye.